today we're gonna be playing Evo Forest. It's another new deck with the new expansion. Honestly, didn't expect Forest to be able to build a whole new deck archetype out of the Evo cards, but here we are, I guess. So yeah, today we're gonna be trying it out. A couple of reasons for that. First one, when I saw someone playing it, it looked like fun, so I wanted to try it out myself. And the other thing is that I think someone asked me to play Evo Forest in one of my comments, and since I didn't have any better ideas to do, I might as well go ahead and do that. So yeah, today we're playing Evo Forest, so let's look at the deck list we're playing for today first. So this is the list we're playing for today. It is quite different from like the Aria, Titania sort of like fairy focused Evo list. This one has less tempo, but it has a little bit better late game with stuff like Congregant. So the reason why I'm playing this list is because when I saw it looked fun, I did try the tempo version. I didn't like how much you rely on drawing both Titania and Aria and also Yua and Societe to be able to play the game, so I abandoned that list pretty quickly. This one felt a bit more flexible, although there are certainly like cards that you really want to draw. This is not my deck list. This is from Toby, who is a pretty good player who streams as well, so I will link his channel in the description if you want to check him out. He definitely plays this deck better than I do. And on that topic, the first thing I have to get out of the way is that this deck is just not strong. Like, Forest is the weakest class in the meta, or at least it is widely considered to be the weakest class in the meta, and I'd say it's probably for a good reason. Your main you don't have that many good finishers. Gilnelis is okay, Cupitan is okay, Sandalphon is okay, but those are your main finishers, so yeah, it's not super great. The reason why Toby probably is able to play this deck is because he's a very good player. I, on the other hand, am not. So yeah, if you are not a very good player, you might struggle with this deck. I did manage to maintain a diamond group in Master, so it's not that bad. But like, it's probably like at this point, I'm probably gonna fall any day now. So just wanted to put a disclaimer there. Definitely, if you are thinking of trying this deck, keep in mind it is just generally weaker. So yeah. Aside from that though, let's look at some gameplay. So our first game here will be against Sword. For the mulligan, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I just go by vibes. Generally, you do want to find like early tempo because this deck kind of needs tempo to win because there is no big OTKs in this deck, so it's helpful to be able to maintain early tempo. In this case though, it is against Forest, against Sword, we're not really winning in the tempo match, so we don't coin Vern. Right now we're looking at either coining Cynthia on turn 3 or coining Glay on turn 4 to take back tempo because we don't really have good ways to deal with their board. So yeah, we just save the coin. If you're playing against a very slow deck, you might consider coining Vern out just to get tempo going. You don't really have a very good target you want to play on turn 5 with coin anyway, so we don't necessarily need the coin. In fact, this deck doesn't have a good turn, like a 6 play point play anyway, so you don't really need to save the coin that much. If you don't need it for cheating out early Glay or Cynthia. Here we do coin out Cynthia to answer both of Vows and the Devotee since we can. And second Vows for my opponent here. For another Cynthia, we're gonna go ahead and use that. Sword has pretty weak board clear, especially on 5 play points. 6 play points, they have stuff like Draconia. So right now we want to force them to spend some resources since they don't clear white board super well. So there's the Luminous Magus. This probably doesn't look like loot anymore, so we can expect it to be something else. You can see these fairies manage to live because again, Forest doesn't clear board that well. We can go ahead and use Glay here to draw into our deck as well as clear their board and start getting some of these Skybound Arts active so that we can deal damage. All of our damage is like Skybound Art 15, so we are actually a very slow deck in that regard. So there's the Gildaria, which is fine, I suppose. They do keep like a fairly wide board here. We go ahead and play Yua and Societe. This is like the best super Evo play for us in this deck. It's like our main enabler for our Skybound Art since Forest doesn't have that many free Evos. We can coin out Lyra. You can consider keeping Lyra for drawing Congregant as well, but as you can see, we're trying to get the Sandalphon here. We're at 4. Next turn, if we play like a follower plus something that evolves for free like a Vern or a Grand Jita, we can hit our super Skybound Art. I mean, we can hit our 6 Evos invoke Sandalphon. So that's the goal, and that is why I coined out the Lyria. The late game coin is more useful in this deck because you can use it to coin like Congregant on turn 8. So but in this case we do want to get a Sandalphon invoked, so we did coin out the Lyria to make sure that we can hit 6 evos this turn. We get pretty lucky with where the fanfare for UN so she had hit by taking out the Gildara, so I managed to keep the Vern on board thanks to that. My opponent's gonna super evolve the Amelia. Pretty weak super evo here, maintaining the barrier on like one follower. I'm not really sure why they did that, to be honest with you. I guess they can't clear my board without doing it, so that makes sense. I don't know. Yeah, we go ahead and use Cupitan here to clear the board because that's our only way to clear the board. I mean we could like double Grand Jita too, but that's like pretty weak. Especially since Grand Jita is our draw source, we don't really want to spend it on that. So we go ahead and draw here and then use the Cupitan. Yeah. I think... No, I didn't have enough Skybound art on the Grand... Wait, did I? I probably had enough. I probably should have played the Grand Jita before the Cupitan there to activate Skybound art or whatever I drew, but... Oh well, I guess I misplayed. So my opponent plays a white board here. Thankfully no barrier from the Amelia, so we just go ahead and play the Congregant here. The Congregant is very strong, we can keep the entire board alive, and thanks to invoking Sandalphon we can heal them up a bit as well. Unfortunately my opponent will have the Golden Knight here, so we just lose our entire board and they super evil as well. We get a bit of damage here, but not so bad, I guess. So we do clear this board with Grand and Jita at this point. We have Glade and another Grand Jita to draw anyway, so we're not too worried there. And we can just use Sandalphon to get some damage in. Your only damage is Sandalphon and you can't like chain multiple of him in one turn, so you sort of have to play him when you can. So whenever you see an opportunity to get a Sandalphon going face, you should definitely look towards it. This is the classic Zeta bait into the what's his face? Seraphon combo here. Pretty scary board, but thankfully we can answer it. So we go ahead and play Lyria here, just because we can use the Cruel to lower their stats, and then we can evolve the Glade. We want to prioritize making a board here as well, because they run Sandalphon as well, so we want to make sure that Sandalphon misses our face as much as possible. So there's another Golden Knight from them. Take a little bit of damage here and lose my board. We're gonna play the Aviar here just to get our Evo point back so we can heal with Gilnelis. Cause again we are like dangerously close to dying to Sandalphon right now. Although Sword doesn't have that many good 4 play point cards to pair with Sandalphon, so there is that upside, I guess. We chip them down so that we can hopefully look for a finish with our Sandalphons. So there's the Amelia into the enhanced Town of War. Pretty strong turn from them. We can summon out a bunch of followers, which is pretty good when your opponent is out of Evo points. We'll play the Vern here. We can use a Fairy Fencer and get their Fairy to clear the Hound of War. And then this is not really risky because either they die. Like, if the Hound of War survives, that will mean that the last hit went face and they died here. So this was pretty much guaranteed to clear the Hound of War, so that's fine. And we put them very low as well, so we can hopefully finish them with the last Sandalphon. Really just need one ping to go face. And the Seraphon here didn't have enough for Super Skybound art, which doesn't really matter because with a combination of Grand and Jita and Sandalphon, there's no way they're surviving this turn. So yeah, we'll just drop Sandalphon here for lethal. So here we have a game against Portal. Nowadays, Puppet seems to be the most popular deck, so Portal deck, so we go ahead and just look for early game. Cruel is very good. Glade is also very good. Glade especially is very good for answering Zwei. It's really our only answer to Zwei, so... Oh, Cruel plus a Fairy can also answer Zwei, I guess, but generally Glade is your cleanest answer to Zwei, so you definitely want to have Glade. And then just look for early game cards to contest the board so that we don't die. There's nothing to play here this turn. Gilnelis has no target. LVR we want to save for the Skybound art. Against Puppet, you want to like just early game focus on answering their board and not try to take tempo on you from your side, because you can't win in tempo against Puppet. It's just not possible. So I want to look towards the mid game where we start pressuring them to spend their resources, and then once they run out of resources they have quite little damage because their damage is mostly relying on Evo points. So once we manage to force them to spit those out, we should be able to win the game, hopefully. We do have more Evo points than them thanks to LER, so. And there's the Zwei, but we have the answer with his Glades, so we just go ahead and pop them and just pass here. There's the Medical Grade Assassin and the Love Trap Puppeteer. They will clear our Glade as well without spending their Evo point. At this point I do end up evolving Cruel. I would say this is probably a misplay. I should be more conservative with my Evo points here. But I think I was trying to rush to invoke Sandalphon since I saw Yua and Soshia in hand, but I would say that probably preserving the Evo point there would have been better. Since again, as I said earlier, we are trying to play a longer game and like run them out of resources, so we shouldn't really be wasting our own. Here we go ahead and evolve Super Evolve Yua and Sochiet here just to get our Skypon arts going. I ended up playing Fairy Fencer here instead of Elia. I think Elia would have been the better play because his Skypon art is active already anyway. I ended up playing Fairy Fencer because I for some reason thought that this set the cost to 1 only lasts until the end of the turn, so I thought I would get value out of it by playing her here, but no, I should just play LVR, I think. There is the Zwei from my opponent, they will evolve it as well, so we're doing a good job of sort of like forcing them to spend their Evo points, which is very good. So at this point we are starting to get scared of Orchis, so we go ahead and play LVR here just to get the get the free Evo out of the way so that we can super evolve Cruel. An important thing to remember, I guess, about UL and Societ's Crest is that if you have a follower that you want to use their evolve effect on, you have to sort of like play something else first. My opponent will super evolve their Liam here. I guess good way of chipping damage while I stop Arceus with my Cruel. Not too much damage though, so that's like kind of fine, I guess. Now comes our Sandalphon to heal. Worth noting, Sandalphon wouldn't. Oh, actually, Sandalphon would have invoked whether I evolved the Cruel early. Oh no, I'm not. So maybe that was a misplay. Who knows? Okay, we try to get Sandalphon damage in. Also because Sandalphon is like my only real way of clearing this Liam properly. We do need to win the game at some point, so we ideally want to send this Cruel into their face, so we do evolve the Sandalphon and trade for that reason. Sandalphon always has enough attack to clear Liam when he's evolved, so I was just hoping as much of the damage when face as possible. And thankfully we did get a few face pings there, so that was pretty good. So there's the Orchis here. Looks scary, but on the bright side, we've forced them to spend their damage here. As you can see, they have Evo points. At this point, we watch out for Gilnalis and Odin, and that's about it. So we just heal a little bit here off this Gilnalis, we should be in good shape. Hopefully, that is the hope, I guess. Drawing Glade, that was pretty nice when you can draw more cards here. And then we can go ahead and use the Gilnalis to clear, and a Vern as well, just to get rid of the Arceus. We have a nice 5-5 on board for them to have to answer. Now comes the Beelzebub. If you're playing against 8 Portal, this is very scary, but against a Puppet deck with no Evo points left, I mean, it can still kill you in the sense that like they can play a Noah into an Orchis and then like just spam Puppets that way. But it's much more telegraphed than just Orchis Super Evo, so we are relatively safe, so we're not super scared even though they did have the Beelzebub there. There is their Gilnalis, they can't heal with it though, so we just have to keep in mind they have the Gilnalis spell in hand and a bunch of puppets as well. So I do want to clear this board. I think I counted and like Orchis wouldn't kill me from here, I was pretty sure, so go ahead and play Sandalphon here. Thankfully it did hit the Noah. I hit with the Cruel first to make sure that all their followers are 2, so that we can hopefully maximize the chance of Sandalphon actually nailing the Noah there. My opponent plays a bunch of Puppet Lancers and then use a few Puppets as well to clear my board, which is fine. We do have guaranteed win with Sandalphon here. Even if we didn't, Cynthia can clear both of these before playing Sandalphon for a maximum of 10 damage anyway. And our last match is against Rune here. Well, it's probably gonna be Dirt, although Spell Boost is like sort of a thing as well. But I think Dirt is the most popular Rune deck right now, so we'll find that in that regard, I suppose. So early on, we just go ahead and drop Vern. We try to get some tempo going. If they manage to clear it, they manage to clear it, I guess. And they do manage to clear it, so we lose our Vern there, but they did spend one Alchemical Flare, so there is less potential phase damage, which is quite good. I'm going to draw the Lyria here again just to have something on board to poke my opponent with. We disrespect our opponent here by drawing with Gran and Jita because I don't really see a point in clearing this Penelope. So yeah, we just go ahead and draw into our deck to try and find better cards, like especially our Skybound art pieces like Cupitan. My opponent will use Gunnalis to clear my board while going face with Penelope, so I guess they wanted to set a board of their own, but we can go ahead and use Cynthia. The other reason why we go Cynthia here is because the more followers on board, the harder it is for them to play Norman, so we are looking towards that as well. My opponent will end up coining Norman anyway. And they will evolve the Norman as well to summon the golems with barriers, which is annoying for most decks, but thankfully with the help of the Fairy and Glade in our hand, we can go ahead and clear this board. We do end up overdrawing, I think, but like it's obviously better to just get rid of the Norman at the risk of milling a few important cards. So my opponent immediately slams the second Norman, so they are just trying to win off these barriers. But on the bright side, that means that in the late game they will have much less healing with Norman gone, and as well as them spending so many Evo points and Dirt. Actually, the biggest threat to for this Forest deck is generally Lilanthum, so the fact that they're spending so much Dirt early on and not generating it is actually really good for us, even though it looks scary with all the Norman spam. I'm gonna go ahead and play the LER here just to get our Evo point back. This Cagliostro from my opponent, no super Skybound art obviously, so that's fine. And they will go face with the Golem. We can consider going Yue and Societe here, but I want to sort of pressure them at this point, especially since I have a free Evo point that can go into LBR. I kind of want to get the damage into their face since I can afford to. We're also trying to bait out their Sage Lights. Once their Sage Lights are out, they really cannot deal with the Congregant at all, so we're trying to bait those out. Oh, there's Ryo, I guess. Ryo and Sage Light are their main abilities to answer whiteboards. So you go Ryo here. I think it's time to go Yue and Societe here just to start evolving followers and pressuring them that way. And we go ahead and play Cynthia as well. Once again, a whiteboard to sort of bait them into using Sage Light. And there is the Edelweiss here, which is fine, and Perfumer as well. And not spending their super Evo point here, which is very good for us. We do invoke our Sandalphon here to start healing up. Pick out Cupitan a bit late, but hopefully we can still get her Super Skymar active at some point. I get a bit lucky with the Yue and Societe pings. I don't think it ends up mattering too much, but you know. And here I end up saving the Fairy instead of playing it, for the simple reason that next time you may want to use Gilnalis to heal up. And with Yue and Societe's Crest active, if we play Gilnalis, she will auto-evolve, and like there's a good chance we want to Fairy Gilnalis and then play Sweetness of Veracity. So in order to enable that, we need the Fairy to absorb the Yue and Societe's Crest effect, so we do save the Fairy for that reason. Opponent will play the Melvi here. Their followers are all like very cheap because of Ryo's effect. There's the 0-cost Apprentice Astrologer as well. Cagliostro, this one was in their hand, you can tell by the fact that it's 5 cost. And there's the Super Skybound Eye, so we do have to start watching out for those from now on. We'll clear our board as well as healing up, and we take a little bit of damage, and their board is quite wide, so this is a bit annoying for us. You can use Cruel to clear this board because like it's like mostly 2 cost followers. I mean 2 attack, 2 defense followers were fine there. We go ahead and play the Sandalphon. And we evolve the Sandalphon as well. As for why we evolve the Sandalphon, I mean because we have, you can see the Sandalphon and the Cupita in our hand are both at Skyward out 14, so I mean 14 now, they were at 13, so by evolving Sandalphon we activate both of them, makes sense, so we can pair them together. So yeah, even if we did manage to hit the Cagliostro with a Sandalphon's ping, we still would have evolved the Sandalphon. So and then we want to keep Cruel here as well as healthy as possible because we don't want to die to their Sandalphon as much as possible. Plus Cruel can go face if it survives this turn, so yeah, all sorts of reason to just evolve the Sandalphon there. So this is the stage line. My opponent is forced to use it to clear because they don't want to die. And there's the Edelweiss as well, and they will use Ars Magna to hit our face. But thanks to the combination of the Cupita and Sandalphon combo, we will end up having lethal this turn. So those are all the games I have for today. Obviously, I have to point out the games are cherry-picked to show off the strengths of the deck. It's not gonna go that well every game because this deck is undeniably like one of the weakest decks in the meta right now. So just a disclaimer, because I don't want you to like spend your vows thinking this deck was gonna be strong. It's just not that good right now. So hopefully they do end up buffing it at the end of the month, which who knows, maybe they will. Probably decent chance they will, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, pretty fun deck if you can ignore the fact that you lose a lot of the time. But yeah, if to give you a more accurate picture, I guess I'll show you my match history here. So let's go ahead and look at that. So I did manage to win the lobby tournament, so that was pretty nice. But as you can see my match history, there are some like pretty bad lose streaks in here. So yeah, just disclaimer, I guess, if you're thinking of trying this deck, it is not gonna be super strong. Yeah, that's it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.